bookish people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. In today's video, we are doing my September TBR. These are all the books I plan to read in the month of September. Now, I have not picked them yet. We are going to pick them together in the TBR prompt jar or bowl. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to pull a prompt out of the jar, and then I will show you a stack of books that fit that prompt, and then I'll show you which one I am selecting. We're going to be picking 8 of them, and I am super excited. Hopefully, we get a good one for our first one. I'm just so excited for what the first one is going to be. Okay, let's pick this one. A book with less than 300 pages. I feel like this one is gonna be a smaller selection because I feel like most of my books are over 300 pages. So let me find something. I was not expecting to have all these books with under 300 pages. So this is gonna be a harder decision than I thought. Out of all those books, these are my top 5. First, we have The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald. This is a classic I recently picked up. I've been dying to read it. We have This Is How You Lose a Time War by Max Gladstone. Heard so many great things about this, and I really have been wanting to read this from my TBR cart, okay? Then we have You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight, Why Horror, that I heard is super scary, and I'm in a scary mood. If We're Being Honest by Kat Shook, which is a recent purchase of mine, so obviously my excitement for this one is at the peak. It's at the most because I just purchased it. Lastly, I have Last Violent Call by Chloe Gong, and realistically, I feel like this is the one that I'm gonna end up reading. It is 2 novellas, both at 100 pages each. These are the novellas that go in between Foul Lady Fortune and Foul Heart Huntsman. Foul Heart Huntsman comes out at the end of September. I just feel like this is what I'm gonna be reading. So this is our selection for a book that's under 300 pages. Technically, it's 2 books, and they're 100 pages each, but we're counting it as 1. It is time for prompt number 2. Hopefully we get something good. Honestly, I underestimated how much work it would be to compile everything that applies to these prompts, then show you them, put them away. So let's hope we get an easy one that has like 5 picks, you know? This one says female main character. That is pretty much 90% of my books, so I will just come back to you with a top 5. These are my top 5 picks for female main character. First, we have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Guide for Murders by Jessica Sutanto. She is one of my favorite authors, so I know I'm just gonna love this. Based on everything else I've read by her, I feel like I'm really gonna love this. Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. Another book I've been dying to read, and since I've been going on my YA fantasy backlist and loving it, I need to read that one. Next, we have Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This one I'm currently in the middle of, and I don't think I'm going to read it by the end of August. Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. I just read Renegades, the whole trilogy, in August, and I absolutely loved it, so I need to go ahead and read Marissa Meyer's backlist. And then lastly, we have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, another release. I went and bought it on release day, dying to read it, but haven't read it yet. The most realistic pick for me is going to be Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, just because I'm already in the middle of it, and I know I'll probably read this in the month of September because I can't let this go unread for a whole month. Okay, so let's pick number 3. It is a recent purchase, which I have a lot of those. We have lots to pick from a recent purchase, so again, I will show you my top 5. These are my top 5 for most recent purchase. The Last Chance Library by Freya Sampson. She's the author of The Lost Ticket, one of my favorite novels. She does the found family trope so well, so I just know this is probably going to be a 5-star read. Like, this is a 5-star prediction for me. Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wein, another 5-star prediction of me. I don't know, I heard someone do a review of this book, and just the passion they had talking about this book and how they'll always remember it, and this is like a book that replays in their mind, made me really want to read it. So that one has been on my TBR for a very, very long time, but I recently just thrifted it. Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This one is definitely my top 5. So excited to read it, but I don't think I'm going to pick it just because I'm really planning to read this by the end of August. Like, if I don't read this by the end of August, I will be quite depressed. So I loved Belladonna, and I'm very excited to read this one. Hill the Boy Band by Goldie Maldovsky. I was looking at her more recent novels. She is the author of the Marie Shelley Club, and she was author of another one of YA horror book that I recognize. So I would really love to read this because I've been wanting to read her other books for a while. Plus, just look at it. Pink and black, and it says Kill the Boy Band. Obviously, it's about the One Direction stans, and I was one. It's Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister, author of Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which I absolutely love that mystery thriller, so I'm very excited to read her most recent pick. Out of all of those, I think I'm going to pick The Last Chance Library by Freya Sampson, because this one gives me cozy vibes. We're going into fall. Not necessarily that this has a fall aesthetic to it, but I just love found family. There's nothing cozier, more warm and wholesome than found family, and that's just what makes me think of fall, warm and cozy, and that is the feelings this book will give me. Now let's go for book number 4. What is it gonna be? Okay, we have Start a New Series. Okay, this one I am really excited about because there's lots of books that can fit this. Well, actually, there's not that many books, but there's like a lot that I want to read. I don't know, I'm gonna go pick them. Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. Already talked about it. Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Everybody has been reading this and loving this lately. I love the Inheritance Games trilogy, so this would be a great one to start, especially because The Brothers Hawthorne comes out in August, so it'd just be fun to like do a little Jennifer Lynn Barnes reading week. A Court of Thorns and Roses because this was on my last month's TBR. I didn't end up reading it. Cruel Prince by Holly Black, another one that was on my TBR I never read. And then Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo, which is just a classic YA fantasy I've always been meaning to read. Honestly, you guys, I have no idea what I'm gonna pick. I feel like I should pick Daughter of the Pirate King just because it's been on like this video twice already. God, I want to read ACOTAR so bad, but I feel like I'm gonna probably realistically read this one first. It's just because like this one I know I can listen to the audiobook on Hoopla, and it doesn't seem to be like a confusing fantasy where I can't listen to it on audio. I have access to the ACOTAR audiobook, but like I just feel like some fantasies are better physically read, and some you can do the audio and have a great experience, and I feel like that is going to be this one. We are halfway through, so let's pick book number 5. Okay, I looked down. We gotta redo that. Oh, one fell out. We gotta redo that because I looked down. I can't look. It's just gotta be totally random. Blue on a cover, or blue on the cover. Look at my grammar. These are my top 5 books with blue on the cover. Yumi and the Night Painter by Brandon Sanderson, the third secret project. I would love to read this book this month, but again, I have so much fantasy, but can I squeeze it in? It is a standalone, so I wouldn't have to commit to a whole series to read this, which is very appealing to me at the moment. When in Rome by Sarah Adams, because I have been dying to read this ever since I read Practice Makes Perfect. From Bad to Curse by Lana Harper, because it's a witchy romance, and we are getting into witchy romance season. The Murder of Mr. Wickham by Claudia Gray, a nice little cozy historical mystery. Recently, I have collected a few physical and ebook historical mysteries, and I would just really love to read this. I have Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer, which I think this is just like a light blue, but regardless, her name is written in blue. We are gonna go with Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer because I read the Renegades trilogy. I absolutely loved it, and like I said, I need to read her backlist because that trilogy is a 5-star trilogy. I don't think I've ever loved a YA series more than I love the Renegades, which was such a pleasant surprise. So of course, we have to continue on with her other stuff. It is time for book number 6, or prompt number 6. That will lead us to book number 6 on the TBR this month. Honestly, I feel like I have a good chance of reading most of these books this month so far. I'm very excited. It says an unread book from Book of the Month. I have lots of those, so let's get picking a top 5. I got my top 5 right here. Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, which I have talked about endlessly on this channel already, and I haven't even read the book yet. For that reason, it should be on the TBR, but let's go through the other ones. She Started It by Shion Gilbert. This one I started on the audiobook for, and I actually was really enjoying it, but I wanted to switch to the physical read since it is multi-POV and I wasn't paying attention close enough to see when they were switching perspectives. Made things get kind of muddled. This one I would really love to read, and the cover is absolutely stunning. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, which has been sitting on my TBR cart ever since I put books on it because, oh my god, I need to read it. I love Ali Hazelwood so much. So the fact that I haven't read this is honestly kind of a crime. Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister. I already talked about it. Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is my most recent pickup, I feel like, from Book of the Month. My last box was the Gillian McAllister book and this book. I didn't love her last book, The Hacienda, but I wanted to give her another chance because it's about vampires, and that is my favorite fictional creature, is a vampire. And out of all those books, the winner is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I love her book so much. Love Hypothesis, 5 stars. Love on the Brain, 5 stars. The novellas, not gonna lie, they were a range of stars. I think a 3, a 4, and a 5. This one I am predicting to be a 5 star. Okay, let's go. Number 7, what are you? It says middle grade book, which I actually do have a lot of unread middle grade on my shelf because it always sounds like a good idea to buy it, but then when it comes down to reading it, I never actually do that. So let me go find the middle grades on my shelf. These are all the unread middle grades on my shelf, and no, I didn't do a top 5. I just only have 5. Well, technically I have 6. Well, no, technically I have 8, but those are sequels to books that I haven't started yet. A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison, which is a witch story, which I think for generations they've been trapped on this island, and then the girls had enough of it and they try to use their witchy powers to break off the island. Something to that effect. But When You Trap a Tiger by Tay Keller, I don't know, it won a bunch of awards. It got me with its cover, and I bought this when my Barnes & Noble was closing, so it's 50% off, which means it was $4.50. So, you know, we allow a cover buy for $4.50. Then I have Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, which was on my August TBR, didn't get read. Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard by Rick Riordan, just another Greek mythology middle grade book. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, which I have heard amazing things about the series, and I have been dying to read it. Out of all those books, I'm going to be picking A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison because I have been dying to read this book ever since I discovered this book in Barnes & Noble. I could not stop thinking about it. I didn't buy it that day, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I went back and bought it, and I've always it's been one of those books I've always wanted to read, but I feel like I've never had the time. There's always other books in front of it. But no, we need to read it this month, and we're getting into witchy season, and witchy season is my favorite season, and I'm very excited to read this witchy book. This is why I love TBR videos, because I'm staring at my stack of books, and I am so hopeful that these are all gonna get read. This might be our most successful month, but I feel this way every every month, and then like I just never read them, but like we'll see. Check back in my wrap up, because I feel like September is gonna be the month we actually stick to a TBR. Okay, let's pick the last one. Hopefully it is a very fun prompt. Honestly, they've all been fun so far, but the last prompt is flowers on the cover, which again, I have a wide selection for this. Flowers on the cover, here's my top 5. The Lila Green Doesn't Care. This is a sapphic romance. It is the sapphic romance that everybody has read and loved, and I have been dying to read this ever since it came out. The Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. Put it on my August TBR, never read it, but you know, I do have plans to do it because I really want to do it. It is about another toxic couple. Toxic couples, mystery thriller, equal a very great time. Dream On by Andy Hockman. This is about a florist who I think she goes into a coma or something. While she's in a coma, she has dreams of this man. She wakes up and asks for him. They're like, that's not real. And she's like, no, but he felt so real. And then one day he walks into her flower shop and she's like, but it's not a fantasy, it's a contemporary romance. If We're Being Honest by Kat Shook, again, we already talked about this. The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. It has these little flower outlines, and this is a dark academia book, I believe. It's a standalone fantasy, and it's about a girl who works in the museum. Honestly, this is a really hard one because I want to read all of these, but I think I'm gonna end up picking Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake because I need to read it. It's been on the TBR for a while. I haven't owned it for a while, but it's been on my mental TBR for a while, and I just need to know what the hype is about. So we are gonna be reading Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Now we're just gonna do a little rundown, a little recap, all the books I selected to be on this month's TBR, and we'll see if they actually get read. So subscribe down below and wait for my September wrap up. The Last Chance Library by Freya Sampson. This one has a very high probability because this book has been on my brain lately, so that has a high probability. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, another one that has a very high probability of being read, especially if my library has the audiobook available, then that will be like a definite read. Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. This one I would say has a moderate probability, you know, a moderate probability of being read. A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to read this, but it has low to moderate chances of being read this month. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This one I would say is moderate to high probability on this one. Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. This one I would say is at high probability because ever since I finished the Renegades trilogy, I just been sad. I'm not gonna lie. I finished Supernova yesterday or the day before, and I am just genuinely so sad because I'm like, oh my god, I miss the trilogy so much. I feel like reading another one of her books is gonna make me happy again. Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. This has a high probability because I'm already reading it. The Last Violent Call by Chloe Gong, which it has higher than high chances of being read because obviously I have to read them before Foul Heart Huntsman comes out, and I am not missing release day for that because I am so excited because I am a huge Chloe Gong fan. So very excited to read these. That is my September TBR. I realized I didn't give a lot of synopsises or plots to any of these, but it was more just for fun, more for the vibes. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! All these dried up bones.